Patrick in Cap Hayton, Haiti. He writes to me and he says, Paul, CD players first came in one piece, and then in the 1990s, the DAC inside of a CD player was taken out in the name of better sound. Now, about 30 years later, we're putting the DACs inside of streamers, amplifiers, CD players, etc. All-in-one units are all the rage, even from the traditionally high-end manufacturers. Is this the triumph of convenience over good sound? Well, it's a complicated question. I'm going to try and answer it simply. So, why do separates exist at all? There's a number of reasons. If we go back in history, when everything was all-in-one, those all-in-one units were not very good. Receivers, console stereos, they weren't very good. And so in the 50s, 60s, 70s, manufacturers started separating the all-in-one components into separate pieces of equipment. Why? Well, because let's say that I am an engineer who's really pretty talented at designing phono stages, but I don't know much about turntables, or I don't know much about power amplifiers. I could take the phono stage out of a receiver and really go to town on it and make something super special. Again, that's compartmentalizing things. And you see it all the time. Somebody will make, Henry Ford made a car, right? Didn't have the best seats, didn't have the best engine, didn't have the best anything. But at the time, it was the best thing, the car. And over time, people started making better cars, better engines, better this, better that. And it's kind of a human pattern. We take things apart, we compartmentalize them into separates, then different groups of experts come and work on those separate pieces, and over time, the level of those separates goes up dramatically, and at one point someone says, hey, all this works really well, why don't I put it into one box? And we come back around full circle. And that's basically what has been happening. Today, you can get a spectacular sounding D to A converter by using a couple of chips and some good power supplies. It's not that big of a leap to place that into a transport and call it a CD player. When CD players came out, the DACs were horrible. Transports were pretty good, but the DACs were horrible. It took taking them out, people like me, like the hundreds, thousands of other people in our industry that have taken them out, worked on them, made them better, figured out what's wrong, figured out what's right, and built spectacular products that later on can then go back into the equipment. So, long-winded answer, but I hope that makes sense. All right? Thanks.